2026 Denaturalization Policy in the U.S. stripping some citizens of their citizenship. Hello, Discovery Learning Hub viewers. Today we're exploring a major and controversial policy shift that's drawing headlines across the United States: the denaturalization push by the U.S. Department of Justice under the current administration. What does it mean? Who could be affected? And why is this sparking intense debate? Let's break it down. What is denaturalization? First, what is denaturalization? Simply put, it's when the government revokes someone's U.S. citizenship that was granted through naturalization, but only under very specific legal conditions. It does not apply to people born in the U.S. or citizens by birth. It only affects those who became citizens later in life. Why is this happening now? Recently, the U.S. Department of Justice, backed by the federal government, has begun ramping up efforts to denaturalize some naturalized Americans. This shift marks the most aggressive denaturalization campaign in decades, with dozens of cases now filed in federal courts across the country. This new focus reflects a broader policy priority, targeting individuals who allegedly obtained citizenship fraudulently, hid serious crimes, or are accused in high-profile national security cases. How does denaturalization work? Denaturalization isn't a simple executive order. It's a legal process. Federal lawyers must file a case in U.S. District Court and convince a judge that someone's citizenship was obtained through fraud, lies, omission, or other disqualifying conduct. Civil cases. Government argues citizenship was illegally obtained, e.g., lying on applications. Criminal cases. Person convicted of naturalization fraud within a certain time frame. Both require legal proceedings and a judge's decision. What's changed under this policy? While denaturalization has always been legal in limited cases, the scale and pace now are what's grabbing attention. Federal agencies have reportedly been requested to refer up to 100 to 200 cases per month for review. That's a huge jump compared with the modern norm. Over the past few decades, denaturalization was rare, typically involving only a handful of cases per year. Critics say this expansion could create fear among millions of naturalized citizens, especially if the policy isn't carefully applied. Real cases underway. In recent announcements, the Justice Department has already moved to denaturalize several individuals across the country, including people accused of serious crimes, fraud, or even national security threats. Controversies and concerns. Supporters of the policy argue that citizenship should never be obtained through deception, and anyone who gained that status illegally should be held accountable. But critics, including legal experts, civil rights groups, and immigrant advocates, warn that this policy could be weaponized politically or used too broadly, especially if legal standards aren't carefully upheld. Legal limits and protections. It's also important to emphasize, U.S. law and the Constitution protect citizenship strongly. For example, the government cannot strip citizenship from someone born in the U.S., nor can the executive branch revoke someone's citizenship on its own. It must go through courts, and the person has a right to defend themselves. Final thoughts. So what does this mean for viewers? If you or someone you know is a naturalized U.S. citizen, understanding the legal process and rights is critical. Denaturalization remains rare, but the current policy shift shows how immigration laws can evolve and spark national debate. If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more in-depth explainers like this. Comment below with your questions. We'd love to hear what you think.